Hi all, I have a magnificent game to show you. Leela Chess 30, which is a rapidly evolving network, used the equivalent of a chess cheat code, if ever one existed. This looks like it, against the mighty Stockfish 9, a fantastically strong tactical opponent. How can you possibly have some kind of cheat code against such an opponent? What could you do which is simple yet effective? Well, we know that the pawns are the slowest feature of a chess position, and positional players love their pawn structures. Let's see what happens in this game. 10 minutes with a 2-second increment. d4 from Stockfish. Leela plays classically. Queen's gambit declined, then going into the Rogozin variation. Queen a4 check, which is trendy in chess-based livebook. The knight is forced to block the c-pawn. So is Stockfish the pawn guru at the moment, blocking the mobility of this c-pawn. Black castles here, bishop d2. Now d takes c4, bishop takes c4, and you'll see structurally black has a 3-2 pawn majority on the queen side. But how to get this pawn majority going? At the moment, this c-pawn is not only blocked in by the knight, but also there's a little matter of this pawn stopping any c5 later. Let's see how Leela gets to work on liberating the queenside pawn majority here. Bishop drops back, white castles, a6 stopping, knight b5. We have bishop going to d3. Now in chess-based livebook, queen c2 is preferred, and for example b5, this has been seen quite a bit before, white has a small edge. But here we see bishop d3. Is there any problem with bishop d3? Well, we have e5, and intuitively it is a loose piece in the position, this d3 bishop. Should that lead to a major problem? We have d takes, knight takes, knight takes, bishop takes, and surely the bishop can just be protected. The queen is now hitting the bishop. We have queen c2, but you'll note that the knight has gone, and that leaves the h2 pawn a little bit looser. And in fact, Leela plays an exceptionally clever move, which you might not appreciate the power of here against the mighty Stockfish. Black to play, what would you play in this position? I think Capablanca would be proud if he was playing against Marshall. This is like one of those games we're about to see. Crystal clear logic meets tactical strength. Leela actually plays the Capablanca type move, queen d6. So it's hitting h2, and you might think this is ridiculous, because isn't that f4? That is actually played. And where is the bishop going? The bishop has to swap off on c3 or something. Before we look at that, if we look at g3, it seems I actually couldn't find anything totally conclusive here after rook d8. Bishop e2 is actually possible for white, because on queen takes d2 the back row is exploited and black loses. So that's not actually possible to win a piece or anything. It turns out in this position bishop h3 might at least be quite good for black potentially. So black's at least equalized. We can say that for sure, but to claim anything more is pushing it in that variation. So it seems g3 was plausible along with h3. But here we see f4. Now f4 is actually quite a committal move indeed, because of this rook d8. Now, yeah, with the bishops kind of attacked here, in fact, Stockfish took on e5. We have queen takes d3. And look at this simplification now after e takes f6. Look at black's pawns. Black is still with this major long-term asset, the 3 pawns against the 2 pawns. And I once remember as a junior we were looking at this game, and on the white side of a Sicilian defence, white has a pawn majority. We were saying, oh, if only white simplified, that would be the winning plan, just to exploit the pawn majority. And I put that in the back of my mind, and this game is reigniting that idea that once you identify you've got a pawn majority, can you just simplify the game and try and win the endgame? We have rook takes d2, rook a d1 is played. On f takes g7, this is actually quite nice for black. This looks scary tactically, knight d5, but actually black has b5. And on knight takes, there's the tactical bishop b7 looking at g2. So that would be a major problem if white took here. That would be a poison rook. Rook takes. And then this is checkmating soon. So that's to be avoided, this variation. If we look at this variation, b5 is possible. And here, if this is white's best, then it's not really that great. Black has still got a 2-to-1 pawn majority here to push. And that's a nice pin. So black's better there, big advantage. So actually, we see rook a d1, rook takes, and now bishop e6. F takes, king takes g7. So white has more pawn islands, but black, maybe more significantly than any count of pawn islands technically, is really with the pawn majority here. Is this really a cheat code against Stockfish? Have I just fish baited the video? Well, let's see. a3 is played, and we have the move a5. It's actually, even in this very simplified position, it's a little bit tricky. You've got to be very careful how you play the pawns here. On c5, that does leave a weakness of the d6 behind, and white might actually usefully play rook d6. In this position, it's like the pawns have prematurely been pushed, and in fact, one of them gets lost, and there's no pawn majority to speak of here. That would be even. And if b5, just to show care and precision needed, again, knight coming to c5 is unpleasant. At least with a5, it actually worries Stockfish a5 a lot more, I believe, because actually the threat, really, it considers is rook a6, actually getting in front of the pawns. And that would seem kind of paradoxical to the whole idea of exploiting a pawn majority. You surely don't want to move your pieces in front of any of the pawns first, but maybe for tactical safety, this could be the preferred method here of playing the position. And we have a5, so basically with the idea sometimes rook a6 is handy. The benefit of this, it keeps the squares pretty solid. Everything's pretty solid here. These four key squares are all nailed down still. Let's put that in a different color just to add even more vividness, that they're nailed down. Nothing's totally easily to exploit here. No holes provided. Knight b5 is played. Let's have a look at king f2. It's possibly the best move to get the rook in front of one of the pawns. That loses for white immediately. So white also has to tread carefully. Say rook d2. King coming into the center with bishop f5. This looks like a fairly pleasant position, and yeah, it looks at least equal. If we look at h3, rook a6, this shows that, again, it looks fairly pleasant for black. There's no real problems here, and it still looks like a long way away to exploit the pawns. And there is this funny rook in front of the pawn, but this might actually be the safest way to transition the position very slowly. Anyway, Stockfish played knight b5, maybe annoyed slightly by this a5. So knight b5, forcing matters. Rook c8, rook c1, forcing move. c6, knight d6. Rook b8. It seems a bit passive for the moment. King f2. King comes to hit that knight. The knight moves away in advance. The rook takes the file. Rook c2, rook d1. Knight c5. The bishop drops back. Knight b3. And now a4. And it's here we have a further simplification with rook d2. On knight d2, it seems bishop e6, this position, it seems as though it should be actually just an even position. It seems black is having trouble actually proving the advantage. So anyway, rook d2 further simplifies, and Stockfish basically believes this is nothing but equal. So this is the thing. This is the illusion, it seems, as though it's totally equal. But we can see visually, just from a visual perspective, that these pawns are actually representative now of a 3-2 pawn majority still. This extra pawn island has led, maybe you could argue, to an easily blockadable pawn in the centre. It's not really, without the connections of the other pawns, it's not really a major pawn to worry about. We have king f4, king d6, h4 is played. We have c5. The pawns are starting to be pushed now. Check, king c6, h5. And it looks as though white, if white gets a few moves, it seems as though the plan is to get this pawn here, take out this guy, and then queen that pawn. However, b4, h6, c4, very energetic and very, very quick. So c4, and now there are thematic threats like this to take out and queen a pawn here, the a pawn. That's taken. King b5. g4 is played. You might wonder why. If king e5, this position, it gets basically as though this is a zugzwang of the g4, f6, e4, bishop a6. This looks as though white is zugzwanged or zugzwanged in this endgame. For example, here, taking, it's just winning a pawn there. That's actually a winning a pawn now. So this is very, very tricky all of a sudden for white. That king e5 actually loses. Knight f6 loses immediately to c3. It's just no time to try and queen this pawn because of this c3. Black's queening a lot quicker, basically. So we have g4. f6 just baiting the knight because of this c3 resource and stopping white crashing through with g5, g6 anytime soon. Black's pawns are fundamentally quicker here. We have check. Yeah, on knight takes f6, then just c3. Let's just play this through. a3, just a2. And black's got a big advantage queening soon. Queening next. So check was played. King takes. Knight e4, king b3 takes. It's too little too late. Look, a3 now. Takes c3. So this pawn is just queening. And it was adjudicated as a win pretty soon. Hold on, let's play it through. It carried on here. Here, adjudicated as a win for black. So basically, Leela has successfully used a really basic idea that sometimes if you look at a position and you have a pawn majority and you have this dream, what if the pieces came off? Wouldn't my pawn majority be more effective? Maybe sometimes bear that thought in mind, especially against very, very tactical players. Why not just win very easily with a pawn majority in the endgame instead of indulging their calculations and massive abilities in the middle game? So if you enjoyed this kind of positional cheat code of chess, then please click on the top left box, which should appear shortly, to become a member at chessworld.net. You can play against other YouTubers. You can also check out the YouTube analysis of this game and others on the improved menu, Learn from the Masters. Click on the YouTube order button there. Okay, any comments, questions, donations, see the description. Like, share, subscribe with the notification bell. All really appreciated. Thanks very much.